Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing? I am really glad to welcome you here to the third installment of the Global Sailor Series. We have a lot of people dialing in today, and there's some that are still joining us, but we'll kick it off. What is the Global Sailor Series? Some of you are new today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I am to explain what this webinar is for. My name is Athena, and I'm the president of the ESS Sailing Club. I took over the presidency at the beginning of March, just before the lockdown was imposed here in Spain. What this meant for me was that I was taking over a club that was on its knees. We had all of our key events for this year canceled because of coronavirus. And I thought to myself, how can the ESS Sailing Club continue to be relevant and additive towards its members without getting on a boat? So I took some time to think about it and what the club really meant. And what I realized is that the best part of the ESS Sailing Club is not the sailing events, although they're spectacular. It's the sailors themselves, the members, and the stories they have to tell. And those have not gone anywhere. So I've decided to invite some of our ESS Sailing Club community to come and share their stories, which is why we're here today. The ESS Sailing Club consists of students, current MBAs. It consists of alumni, such as Leandro himself. We have professors, we have partners, we even have incoming students who will be joining us next year. This is part of the diversity that makes the Sailing Club amazing. So before I get into it too much, I'll go through a bit of housekeeping. I ask you all to keep yourselves on mute, as you are familiar with Zoom calls already. We will have a Q&A time at the end of the call. So please, if you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box or ask them in person at the end of Leandro's presentation. All right, I'd like to introduce our speaker today. We're very pleased to have him on board, and I was very excited when he agreed to participate. Leandro Rosado is the CFO of Rakuten TV, a very large tech and multimedia company with offices here in Barcelona. However, more importantly, he's a sailor and a very good one at that. He's won multiple championships, most notably the Laser Masters World Championship in 2018 in Ireland, amongst many others. He's here to tell us his story about how he trained for the race of a lifetime, the learnings he took away from it, how it gave birth to his startup idea, and where he's going from there. So before I let Leandro to take off the discussion, Leandro, could you say hello?
Hey, hello guys. Thank you for joining.
Where are you calling in from today?
Calling from home. I'm based in Barcelona, so yeah, calling from home. We have to stay in house, as you know, and there is no other choice. So yeah.
Great. Well, we're glad to have you on Zoom and hopefully again in person. How has the quarantine been? How have you been dealing being off a boat?
Wow, tough, I would say. Fortunately, I'm able to work from home. So the whole company is connected through internet, and we are using Zoom every day. And due to the nature of our business, we are doing very well. People is doing things in house that they cannot go outside, so they're watching a lot of movies, and it's helping our business a lot. But that's the situation is dramatic. It looks like a science fiction movie, and but yeah, there are a lot of people working out there for us to be in house, so we have to be serious and stay in house. There is no other choice.
Very well put. Well, on that note, why don't you tell us a little bit about your sailing history and your story?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Athena, for having me. Thank you, and congratulations for setting up the ES Sailing Club. It's great to hear about this initiative. I'm more than happy to contribute in any ways. Nowadays we have to do it this way, but I will be more than happy to um, to do it in a, let's say, normal way soon. If we can go out and do some sailing together, or having a more practical sailing class, or whatever you guys want to learn from this amazing sport, I will be more than happy to help you out. So I was born from Argentina. I will tell you a little bit about myself. I'm not a professional sailor at all. I'm a finance guy. I was born in Argentina. I did my basic studies there, and I moved to Spain like about 15 years ago or so. I came to Spain to do an MBA and yeah, international studies. I was doing a master in economics and finance at the University of Navarra. Then I became a ESE alumni as I did a PDG program. And I work for Rakuten. I'm the CFO of Rakuten TV. Rakuten is a tech Japanese company. It's one of the biggest tech companies in the world. And I'm working there since the very beginning. We a bunch of local guys set up a company previously called Waki TV that was acquired by Rakuten Group, and we started from a very small company to we reached it. So we take it from a startup to a huge company, international company that we are nowadays. And in the way, well, I was helping out being mostly the CFO of the company. You know? So that's a little bit my professional background, and related to sailing. Is my passion. Is what I've been doing almost my entire life. I like doing sailing competitions, and I've been mostly sailing in laser. Laser is a very basic boat, very physical demanding boat, but it's a very competitive class. And I will share with you some pictures so you can see. Oh, so I will start from the beginning. Sorry to go there. Can you see the screen? So this is a laser. It's as I was saying, very simple boat. It's the boat I sail the most. This is a boat of about 4 meters length. It's just designed for one person, and it's an Olympic class. It's a very competitive class. A lot of people sail in this class, and most of the best sailors in the world have been sailing in this class. It's very competitive, very physical demanding, and but it make it amazing. Also, I've been sailing in other different classes as well, like Shay 80 or Shay 70. I don't like much sailing on racing boats, but I prefer doing it on one design boats. So yeah, I did some regattas in that I've been helping out with from the company to do some regattas. I did some events at the King's Regatta in Mallorca a few years, where I got the sponsorship from Rakuten. And then with being the financial director of the company, helped me out to get the budget for the sponsorship. Well, going back a little bit to the laser class, I mostly compete nowadays in the master class, which is older than 35 years old. And I'm the national champion, the European. 2 years ago, no, about 4 years ago, I won the European Championships in France, and 2 years ago, I won the World Championship in Ireland. So the idea was to tell you a little bit more about this particular regatta and the way I prepare it. I found a lot of similarities with the business plan, because it required to me a lot of preparation and a lot of organization in many different ways. No, I had to prepare my boat, prepare all my stuff, prepare myself physically and mentally. I was training very hard with my technical coach. I spent a lot of hours on the water, also a lot of hours in the gym. As I was saying before, laser is a very physical demanding boat, and you have to be very strong, very fit to be able to sail in this boat, especially if this is windy. As it happened during the World Championship in Ireland, it was very windy every single day. And one of the most important things that I did was precisely taking care about my physical preparation. No? So that was key for the final successful. What else can I tell you about that? Well, I took this preparation very seriously. Was about 1 year that I was basically focused on winning this, or not winning, but preparing as much as possible for this event. I did it in parallel to my regular job. It's not so, as I was saying, I'm not a professional sailor, but I was during that year of preparation. I was putting as much effort as possible and as many hours as possible on training, both on the water and physical, as I was saying. And I was stealing time from my job, stealing time from my family, from my friends. But I got that target. That goal was very important for me. I set a very ambitious plan. For me, it was very important, considering my particular situation. No? As I said, I'm not a professional sailor. I have a lot of things to do on a daily basis. Basically, I'm devoting a lot of time in my job, and well, I did my best. No, setting up the idea of setting to myself the idea of becoming a laser master world champion was something very ambitious, but consider is nothing comparable to winning an Olympic medal, for example. No, but for me, considering my age, my situation, was the best I could achieve at this particular point of my life. So that's why it became very important for me. No? So let me show you more pictures. So these are pictures that when I was setting up the boat so I was doing my preparation mainly here in Barcelona, competing in different warm-up regattas and training basically here. And we sent out the boats to Ireland by ferry. And so my boat was already there in Dublin when I flew for the championship. It was 10 days that I spent in Dublin. It was very close to Dublin, 20 minutes going south from Dublin, a place called Dunlarry. Beautiful place, beautiful sailing club. The organization, the preparation was amazing. Everything was very well prepared and organized, and that was a great experience to participate. No, this is a picture from the hotel. I booked a hotel just right in front of the sailing club. Every single day was like this one, very gray, very windy, rainy, and well, the weather was not the best of the week, but it was a common weather in for Dublin, no? This was the Spanish guard. Out of these guys, got 10, 12 people out there in this picture. 3 of them Olympic champions, 4 of them world champions. With me, we will be 5 world champions. I was very lucky to train with these amazing guys. I learned a lot from them, especially from those who won the Olympic medals. Was amazing for me to train with these guys and learn a lot from them, especially on how to organize an important event. No, was very helpful. The way they support me and taught me how to prepare and organize an important event. No. So, well, more pictures about the club. This was in Dublin on a stop near to the bus station. It was an advertising of the championship. This was during one of the every single day was like that one. So gray, rainy, windy, wavy. So was very physical and also was very technical because the wind was very shifty. But yeah, was I was prepared for that. It was that what the weather was exactly what I expected, and yeah. So I was ready for the battle. Let me say what else. So if I wanted to share this this picture with you in order to explain you a little bit more about the race itself and what happened over the weekend, over the week. The championship was organized to do 6 days of racing and 2 races per day. And well, at the beginning, I wanted to share this this score, this picture in order to explain you how the score system works. As you could see, I'm now finally at the top of the table, obviously. But in race 3, you could see that I have a UFD. This was a disqualification I got. Basically, I ended up with the competition with 21 points because the scoring system is set in a way that you can discard your worst race. So I finally discard this 3rd race where I did a silly mistake on the before the starting procedure, and I got this flag disqualified, and that was my worst race and the one that I finally discard. That is why it's not counting in my final position. So if I divide it a little bit, let me tell you some anecdotes that I got from those days. The first day, I prepared myself to do my best, of course, but I didn't know what to expect, because I never sailed against those guys before. Those are coming from, there were people coming from Canada, from Ireland, from France, from US, from UK, from Germany, well, many different countries, no? And I'm not used to sail against those guys, so I didn't know what would be my real position among them, no? So the first day I won the race 1 and race 2, so I was a little bit shocked. I went to the, I remember going to the race office after the races to double check that they were my results, because a little bit, yeah, I didn't believe it, honestly. So on the second day, race 3 and 4, I did, as I mentioned before, did that silly mistake at the beginning of race 3, and my discard start counting on my qualification. So that was conditioning me for the rest of the week. So it was very bad to have that disqualification on the second day. And especially because of the Canadian guy, as you could see, got four bullets in the race 3, 4, 5th, and 6th. So I lost the leading position, and then there was a spar day in between. After race 5 and before race 6, we have one day off. Then unfortunately I recovered quite well, and I was able to win race 6 and 7. No, sorry, I won race 7. I was 5th in race 6. And then the following day on race 9, it was that was the key race of the championship. There was an accident. There was before the starting. Not sure if you guys know how it works, but before the how the starting procedure is. But basically, when you are there is the committee boat who is setting up the course for the race, and they do the starting procedure, which is basically raising a flag 5 minutes before the race effectively starts. And so they raise a flag and horn a sound 5 minutes before the start. Then they raise another one 4 minutes before the start. The final one 1 minute before the start. And when the idea is to position it yourself the best place possible to be full speed when the countdown reaches 0. So the idea is to be on full speed mode and positioning your boat in the best way possible to gain as much advantage from that starting position as possible. The starting is a key moment in the race. If you do a good start, then you gain a lot already. So just a few seconds before the start, I was pushing my tiller very hard, and I got broken my tiller extension. There is a small plastic between the tiller and the tiller extension that it makes the joint between the tiller and the tiller extension. And I was doing it, pushing very hard, and I got broken and I broke that small joint piece. And well, that happened just 5 seconds before starting that key race. and well, I was at that moment, I was shocked at seeing the other competitors just starting that race, and I was stopped and shocked. And I remember that moment was like a crazy moment for me, because I said, okay, it's over. That's all. I lost. But suddenly, just 10, 15 seconds after the starting signal, and then when the guys were already sailing just in front of me and getting away from me, the committee boat makes a recall, which means that the race will be restarted. So the procedure, the 5 minutes procedure, will start again. So I took a deep breath, and I was trying to find a solution. I was alone, basically. I didn't have a coach on a reef, but there was an Irish coach on a reef, and I was asking for help, but was almost impossible to sort out that issue. But I was ultra lucky, because he got a tiller for me in his in his rib. I didn't expect it. It was something crazy. I don't know why I was so lucky with that, and that tiller fit perfectly. My tiller extension was something amazing. So I managed to replace the tiller extension within the 5 minutes starting period, and I reached the starting line just few seconds to start. I managed to do it well, and did that regatta, and I finally won that regatta, and that was the key race of the championship. So that was the before the last day. So before the last day, before the race 11, I was tied in points with the Canadian guy. But I had a better tiebreak. So if there were no race on the last day, I will be the world champion. And there was wind the whole week. Was very windy, but for that day the forecast was very different, and basically there was no wind at all. And there is a rule that says that only the race can start if there is at least 5 knots of wind. So basically, how it works is that you stay on shore waiting for the committee boat, which is out there on the water, checking the conditions, and raising a flag on shore and letting you know if you finally have to go to do the race or not. With a time limit at 3 p.m. It was at 3 p.m. When we normally did our races around 11 a.m. or so. So we spent the whole morning waiting on shore for the committee boat making that call or not. If they didn't, if they finally don't do it, don't do that call, I will become the world champion. So I spent a few hours on shore, and they finally called us to go out to the water, and the conditions were very extreme. There was just 5 knots, and the watch was playing on my favor, because if finally there will be at the 3 p.m. They will be not in a position to start with the starting procedure for doing the final race, and I will be the world champion. But they finally they start with one procedure, and we start sailing, and I managed to do my starting very well. Basically, I had to on that day we had to. It was basically a match race between the Canadian guy and myself. We didn't care about the others because the other guys were far away on the classification. So whoever finished in front of the other will be the world champion. And so we started that race just half an hour from the time limit, which was 3 p.m. And so then we started the race. I managed to do a very, very good start, and I was in front and controlling him. And after 15 minutes or so, the wind dropped down again below 5 knots. So the race was cancelled. And honestly, I didn't expect the committee board to wait for just the 15 minutes left to reach the time limit, no? But everybody was waiting out there to see what happens. And my mates and different people coming next to my boat and congratulating me. Congratulations. They were very happy from me and saying, well, wonderful words, but I was very nervous. I was waiting for either the time limit or racing the final race. Yeah, I was super nervous, but it was a great moment. Finally, just 5 minutes before the time limit, the committee board start a new procedure. The wind went up a little bit higher than 5 knots, so there were conditions to start the procedure. They did it, and I remember I did a very bad start with the Canadian guy. He managed to do it. I was super nervous, to be honest. I didn't manage to control him, and just. Remember that I mentioned before that the starting position is very important for the rest of the. It's a very important moment for the rest of the race. So the Canadian took the lead. He was controlling me basically. Fortunately, I had a very good speed, and I managed to pass him just on the upwind buoy. And from there, controlling, basically I was controlling him till the end, and I managed to finish ahead of him and finally becoming world champion. So it was an amazing race for me. I was, yeah, I will always remember it. I will always remember the way I prepared it, the way I planned it, the way I executed that plan. I dreamed to become the world champion, and I finally, well, it was, and I finally did it, no? So, well, after that, there was a lot of celebration with my family, with my friends. It was amazing to be able to share it with them. And we had a great time after those days that for me were, I was a bit nervous, honestly, because all my family and friends were calling me and sending me messages every single day, supporting me, of course, my nephews, my siblings, my father, so and my friends. Everybody was very very close to me, and it was a relief for me finally winning. For me, for them, to make them happy, was a wonderful moment. And yeah, it was great. I don't know what to say, honestly. But that was a relax. I was after many days of tension, finally winning that trophy was a great relief. In fact, I after when I came back to Barcelona, I stopped sailing for a few months. because yeah, I guess the whole process was a little bit too much for me, and I had to stop sailing for a while. What did that mean for me? That after that, not much. It didn't change my life, but was a milestone in my life. I set up a very ambitious goal for my, considering my personal situation. I worked very hard for it. I spent a lot of hours, a lot of money. I got a lot of support as well, especially from my wife, that I was stealing time from her every single day, um, and well, it was a wonderful journey. I was one year of preparation. I was missing doing it with my brother, but I was lucky. I did it with some other friends, and was great. And we did a lot of celebration. Of course, I got many Guinness after that, and I was sightseeing Dublin a little bit, and that was also very nice, very great experience. When I came back here, I got well, some sort of recognitions by the local sailing association. I got a perpetual license from them. I got recognition from my club, from my sailing club also in Argentina, some other sisters club like in Uruguay. So got a very nice recognition from different people, different clubs, and I was doing some classes here and there, doing this sort of a pitch with you guys. So an honor for me. Thank you again. This picture is when I was giving a class to the radial team in Uruguay, and that's pretty much all about that race. What's coming next? I would like to start sailing in this sort of new machines. Not sure if you are familiar with this sort of boats, but now they are during the last 10 years, the boats and the technology applied to boats improved a lot, increased a lot, and now boats are, as you can see on this picture, basically flying over the water. Just a small piece of the centerboard and some small foils are touching the water, and you are literally flying over the water. These are more stream boats, but I've been trying sometimes. This is another picture, a bigger boat, but the same concept, this foiling concept. So boats are almost flying over the water. This is something kind of new, and is becoming more and more common, and that's something that I would like to do more. That's pretty much all regarding this lifetime championship and what I did, what I do as a passion. This is I love the sport. I came from an athlete family. My grandfather was he did participate in the Olympics in London '48. Also, my father was professional football player. So the sport has been in my life always. and I'm not a professional sailor, but it's my passion, and I love all the sports, and in particular sailing. The other topic that I briefly wanted to share with you was this new challenge that I'm facing nowadays, which is setting up my own startup. It will be related to the sailing world. This is something unreleased yet. So this is you can see the logo and the name of my new startup. It's still, I'm still working on it. I'm on the running the MVP project, and I'm still working on it. Hopefully it will be live in before the summer. It will be about selling spare. It will be a marketplace concept, selling spare parts for boats, and accessories for boats, and technical clothes for sailing. And so it will be sort of a link between the best nautical stores and the sailors, no? And well, that is my next challenge, and I will put all my effort to do it well, and to be as successful as I was when I did and trained hard for the World Championship in Ireland. And that would be pretty much all. Adina, tell me if we got any questions. Happy to, of course, to answer any question. As I said at the very beginning, hopefully I guess I will be much more useful for you guys if we can someday go out and do real sailing. I would be glad to share with you my knowledge, and answer any questions about sailing that you may have, and I would be more than honored to answer them if possible.
Absolutely. We'll get out on the water as soon as we're allowed, which I hope will be within the next month or so. Thank you, Leandro, for that story. I would like to open up to the audience now if they have any questions. I also have some questions to get us going. So I'll ask you a question, and then if someone else has a question, then please turn on your video and just raise your hand, and then we'll get to your question. Leandro, how did you, what was the relationship between your championship and this new startup idea?
Well, we were on the flight back from Dublin. I told my wife, look, I need to because the day after coming back from Dublin, I had to go to the office, and I told her, look, I don't want to go. We have to do something different. I would like to leave to do something to get my job closer to my passion, no? And then, because of the issues that I normally face, not just during that period, but also nowadays, the issues that I face when I want to buy spare parts for my laser or technical clothes for myself, is not easy. That's what I thought, that it would be good to put all together the different nautical stores, and somehow also helping the sailing community, the sailors as a client, to find in a unique on a unique site all the nautical stores together, so he or she will be able to to find what they're basically looking for, no? And so, yeah, so the idea came from that discussion we got on the plane back from Dublin, and the idea that I have to finally work or yeah, to working closer to my passion, no? So sort of combining my sailing knowledge to my finance background and startup knowledge, and make it a mix, and potentially doing it well.
Great. We have another question regarding this from Thomas. Thomas, would you like to turn on your camera and ask your question? Give you some seconds for technical manipulation. Okay, while Thomas is sorting out his microphone, I'll ask the next question. You talked about stealing time from your wife. Now, obviously, training for such big events requires a pretty significant commitment. How did you find the right balance of work, training, and family? I know you showed us a picture of your training schedule with the hours and days. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, yeah, she was a super important support on the whole preparation. As I was saying at the beginning, I spent about a year focused on training very hard, hours not just from her, but also from honestly from my job, and I was trying to combine and organize myself as better as possible. I guess it was key to really organize myself in terms of timing and resources, and knowing from the very beginning how much time can I devote to training, how much time I can devote to training on the water, how much I can put on the gym. I mentioned before the help that I received from the one of my good friends that are former Olympic champions, that helped me a lot in the organization and the preparation. So I took it very seriously, and I was and also in your mind, I was during that year I spent every single day thinking about it, and I received the support of my wife in order to be able to put hours on the plan. She was key on this success, and I am very grateful to her for that.
Yeah. You talk about the support that the other Olympic athletes gave you. I also know that you're an MBA. Not an ESA MBA, but that's okay. You are an ESA alumni. We won't hold it against you.
I did a master in economics and finance just right after that MBA at the University of Navarra, so I got closer to.
Close enough. But as a community of mostly MBAs, how would you say that your MBA, your business school, gave you or helped you in your sailing career, and vice versa?
I found a lot of similarities, I would say, between the way a business plan is set up and the way I would say somehow I set up a business plan for the World Championship, because I had I put it in written. I organized myself. I organized my resources, my time, my money. I had to make adjustments during the way. Yeah, I find I guess, well, I came from my as I said before, no, my background is business administration, and I've been always working on startups, and I have an economics background, and I'm quite well organized guy, and I guess that helped me a lot to organize the resources I had available, and for sure that sort of mindset helped me a lot with the organization for the race.
Yeah, absolutely. We had talked about this before, about the skills that you get as a business school student, and that mindset. Moving on to a question that's a little bit more technical. You talked about a tiller component that broke. For those in the audience that are a little bit newer to sailing, can you describe how, where that piece fits into the boat and why it's so important?
Oh yeah. Let me show you. Let me show you one picture that I shared with you at the beginning. If maybe in this one, the small piece that got broken was a small plastic piece that joins the tiller and the tiller extension. The tiller extension is that pole that I'm holding with my left hand in this picture, and and the tiller is the pole that moves the rudder. So basically, I ended up with no rudder when that small
literally rudderless, and without direction.
That was key. I showed some pictures on the preparation I did with before on my boat, and everything was brand new, and I prefer the best boat possible, but these things sometimes happens. They are the greatest sailor in Argentina says something. He once said that races are you win races out there on the water, but you lost the races inshore. So basically, they're saying that you have to work very hard on inshore, and on the preparation, and the boat setup must be very good. Otherwise, these things may happen.
Do you now always
lost a lot of effort and time just because of one little thing get broken,
Is that piece now included in your spare components bag?
Oh yeah, it will be, yeah, for sure. I will have many different options, brands, prices, and different stores selling that specific piece. And I'm sort of now sort of a specialist on that particular piece, precisely because of that. And in fact, I developed a new piece that is better than the ones that they are available in the market, but it's something that I have to improve a little bit. But yeah.
It's wise words what you say about the race is lost on land in preparation of the boat. I think it's similar in business. If we fail to plan, we plan to fail.
Sure,
if you don't have the right team and equipment and skills, it's not going to get very far.
Totally agree.
So also another question for the newbies in our audience, how can somebody get into laser racing? If someone says, okay, that looks cool, how do they start? Where do they begin?
I recommend for anyone that wants to have a technical knowledge or start doing some racing, the best way to learn is to do it with the smaller boats. The smaller the boat is, the better. Because if the boat is there will be you will gain feeling from the boat that if you sail in a bigger boat, you will not realize what is going on. So the best way to learn is to do it with small boats. That's why I prefer smaller boat than bigger boats, precisely because of that sense of feeling, and it's the best way to learn as well. And definitely, if you never sailed a laser or a similar boat to the laser, you will never be very good. You can be good enough to do some sailing, but if you don't get your body wet, you will not be very good.
Perfect. Great advice. Do we have any questions from the audience? Feel free to unmute your mic and ask your question. I think, yeah, if anyone has a question, please unmute your mic. But I'd like to take this time to thank you, Leandro, for your time, your preparation. You put a lot of effort into collecting these photos, preparing your story, and it's your free time. So on behalf of the ESS Sailing Club and our audience today, I'd really like to thank you for joining us. For those of you who are listening, we are continuing the Global Sailor Series. Next week, we will have a professor from the ESSE who has a long history of sailing and is also a VC. So he's going to talk about how sailing has given back to him and helped in his VC career and vice versa. Leandro, of course, again, I'd like to thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. I congratulate you for to you and all the members. I guess this is a great initiative, and as I said before, I would be more than happy to collaborate, contribute to within this initiative. However, and happy to do it anytime.
Fantastic. We'll see you on the water shortly. In the meantime, please everyone feel free to follow the ESS Sailing Club on Instagram or on Facebook to hear about our future events. Yeah, with that, I'll conclude the meeting. Thank you everyone for dialing in, and thank you, Leandro.
Thank you to everybody.